as you know, I'm in Colombia, and I got a message in my comments, and it said, you know, can you tell me the best part of Latin America to find a wife? How you doing, brother? ¿Qué lo que? ¿Todo bien?
Bien.
And you know, it's not a one-sentence answer. So here we go. Yes, geography does count. Geography does count because humans follow the culture. As you know, I have a Boston accent that I can't get rid of to save my life. I can speak some Russian, I speak Spanish, and I still have a Boston accent. And I lived in Florida for many years, and I'm still saying Florida instead of Florida. But that's how it is over here. So culture and where you live does matter. So that may play as an important factor when finding your soulmate. Because if she lives in an area that's more conservative and you like a conservative girl, well, that's going to help. Next, her family values. You know, how did her family raise her? Did she have a father in the home? Does she, or at least love her father? Which is really important. Because sometimes if she never met her father, she doesn't know how a man is going to respond to her. And the only men who have ever responded to her are men who want to bed her, where they're going to say things that aren't necessarily true, but are in their favor instead of her favor. Whereas a father is only saying it for her favor, to benefit her. And her husband would be saying it in their benefit. So we'll start off with geography, important. Where she comes from, that's important. Next, family, that's important. Next, what's in her heart? What is she looking for? You know, is she a type of girl who just wants to go from guy to guy and end up with a cat? You know, and you know, a bunch of kids and grandchildren and be by herself? That's always possible because these days a lot of people have big egos and they don't want to listen to others. And in a relationship, as we know, it's not the easiest thing to deal with. So these are three important factors you're going to have. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Todo bien?
Hola.
Soy Roberto. Mucho gusto.
Michelle.
Michelle,
Angélica.
¿de dónde eres? ¿De aquí?
Sí.
¿Son barranquilleras?
Sí.
¿Y qué tal Barranquilla?
Súper.
Súper. ¿Quieres saludar a mi familia?
Hola. Hola.
Sí, a mí me encanta Barranquilla. Es el mejor lugar de todo el mundo. Yo visité todas las partes de este mundo. El mejor gentes viven aquí, en la costa. Y Barranquilla específico, porque es el núcleo sí, me encanta. Pero ¿siempre estás en Barranquilla o visitar otros lugares? ¿Qué tienes?
Cartagena, Santa Marta.
Sí, claro, me encanta. I'm back. So we got three. Where she, geography, family, and her personal heart. What does she want? Is she ready to settle down? Because the bottom line is, no matter where she grew up, or no matter what her family says, if she just wants to be by herself and date around, how are you going to change somebody else's mind when they're an adult? You can influence with family values, religion, and geography, but you can't. How you doing, guys? ¿Cómo está? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo bien? ¿De dónde eres? ¿De aquí?
De aquí.
Cool, cool. ¿Quieres saludar?
¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo se llama?
Soy Roberto, mucho gusto.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Sí,
Nosotros
sí.
hablamos inglés. Si quiere hablar inglés.
¿Tú puedes hablar inglés?
Yes, we both talk English.
Nice, nice. Where did you learn?
In school.
Nice.
Yeah.
You grew up here?
Yeah, we grew up here.
Nice.
Yes, so are you from Venezuela? I'm from Venezuela.
Oh, nice. I know Caracas.
Oh,
What part?
Caracas. I'm from Caracas.
But I was there back in the old days. I'm a lot old. I was probably there when you were what year were you born?
2006.
Yeah, I was there in 2002. Like, you were still a memory.
Yeah.
I mean, you were still a thought. But yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. People were really nice. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of New York, but everybody speaking Spanish. Like, because there was chinitos, everybody in all different colors. Like when I walk down the street, people can't tell if I was Venezuelan or not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? ¿Tú eres venezolano?
No, I'm from here.
Yeah. This is how it was then. I don't know how it is now. I haven't been there in 20-something years.
Yes,
But it was a good time.
now.
Yeah.
And where
yeah.
are you from?
I was born in Boston.
And do you have a YouTube channel? Or
Yeah,
what?
Mundo y Orio. I hope you see it. Mundo y Orio. I-O-R-I-O. I just love people. So I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, but
Great.
without a camera. And then I'm like, hey, there's YouTube. Why don't I show people what I do? And people who come here and like, they don't want gringos to come, they're like, don't put that. We don't want them. And I'm like, you know, you got a point.
No, I think it's great. You just
I have
record.
fun. You know, I because of my channel, a lot of people came here and retired, husband and wife. They moved to
Can
Risaralda.
you type it?
Oh, okay.
And how long have you been here in Colombia?
I started coming, you know, decades ago, but this time I've been here for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I leave in a few more days, then I'll go work my butt off for like 2-3 months and then come back for another month. So it's back and forth, work and here, work and here. Mundo. I-O-R-I-O. Buscar. Oh, I did mundo by accident. Hold on. Sorry about that. I-O-R-I-O. Busca. Yo.
Okay.
It was a pleasure meeting you guys. Have a fun night.
Same.
Enjoy.
Bye.
See you. You have the categories. Where they're from, if they're coming from, if you want to marry a conservative woman, which if you're looking for marriage is a conservative decision. And the next would be obviously if she is religious and she matches your religious beliefs, that helps. And the next is family. And obviously what's in her heart. The actual question that I'm answering is, where is the best place to find a wife in Latin America? With that being said, it has to be in her heart, not in a location. But it's going to have something to do with geography as well. Family, religion, and then what's in her heart. So, you know, although in the Dominican Republic, there's a lot of wild parties over there and people get crazy. But you can still find an amazing wife there. In Medellin, people still get crazy, but you can still find a good wife there. You know, you're not going to go to the nightclubs to meet, your wife. Maybe it could happen, but it's probably not going to be as possible as if you go to like a church event. You know, it's just going to be a different vibe, you know. And I'm not saying that everybody who goes to a church is perfect. By far they're not. We're all sinners. We've all made mistakes. But what I'm saying is sometimes when you put yourself into, you know, a specific energy, you're going to find what you want. So when you come to Latin America, if you go to, especially in the Dominican Republic, some of those Cristiano churches, it's awesome. They're going to be playing music, they're jumping around. You'll have just as much fun as you did going to a nightclub, but you're not going to be drinking. You're going to be hanging out with people who are like-minded. And maybe there you communicate with a few people, you meet a nice lady, and then you can marry her. So back to the original question, where is the best part of Latin America to meet a girl? It's all of Latin America, but you want to put yourself in a place that has the energy and her the ethics that you want. You know, so it does. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Todo bien? It has all of the energies that you are looking for. And I believe in my heart of hearts that you'll find that person. And another thing, I don't want you to get all stressed out when crap doesn't go your way. You just got to blow that off. Because the bottom line is, there's going to be a lot of times that people are trying to work you. And when I say work you, they're trying to get as much out of you as you possibly can. And before I leave you with this, you got to know some of the signs. If you take a girl out on a date and she doesn't stop asking for things, end the date immediately. Next, if you're with a girl and you end up taking her back to your house, and then all of a sudden she's going through your luggage and putting your scally cap on, going, oh, can I have this? And then she goes into your bathroom, she puts your cream on, she's like, can I have this? It's really, it gets crazy. Buenavista 2 es por aquí, señora. Sí, necesito ayuda. Vamos, pues. We're going to walk over here to Buenavista 2. La puerta por aquí. La puerta por aquí. Chauito. You know, that's one thing to look out for. Another thing is if you actually haven't even met her yet and she's already asking you to send her money. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. One thing I never want you to do one thing I never want you to do if you're meeting a girl, when you don't know her, do not ask her for sexy photos. That is a no-no with good girls. They don't want to hear that crap. That's for the bad girls. And when you put yourself in that situation, you're putting yourself in the pool of the jackasses who are down here acting like idiots. Don't do that. Don't do that. You gotta handle yourself like a gentleman over here. Sometimes what happens is, you know, you're around all of this energy, and you're also around some of this crazy energy, and it can rub off, and accidentally you start acting like that. You don't want to do that. ¿Está rico? ¿Rico? Me gusta helado, pero tengo alergia. Qué pena. And that's pretty much what you want to do. You just, you know, you wanna go by the saying in Colombia. The saying in Colombia is the 11th commandment: no da papaya. No da papaya. That's how you have to live around here, which means don't put yourself in a position where you can get hurt. Even if you look a little bit cheap at the time, it's okay, because you. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Todo bien? Ay, qué pena. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Se roto? ¿En moto? Ay, la moto es aquí. Es peligroso, es porque yo no tengo. Chauito, mucho gusto. So that's one thing you got to watch out for. Let's see, what else? Oh, my purse got robbed and I lost 200,000 pesos. Can you help me? That's my pay. That's a scam over here. And the first thing I ask is, okay, did you fill out the police report? And she knows she's going to say, no, it's because the police don't have value to beep. And don't even take any mind to it. That girl's no good. If she tells you that her purse got robbed and she's speaking to you on a cell phone, the same cell phone as last week, come on. You need to be streetwise to understand that. Forget it. You know it's a scam. With that being said, if she does call you from another phone and say, I lost my phone, this is my sister's number, I didn't want to lose you, so here it is, then it could be real. Then I have seen this happen, and I know somebody personally who was robbed in Santo Domingo because she lives in Huaricano, and Huaricano can be caliente. You do have to watch out over there. So it's not, everything I say is not going to be to a T. It's going to be just like somebody taking a technical analysis as a trader. You know, you can see that shape and be like, okay, that's my buy. Okay, that's my sell. But you're only going to be right 50% of the time. You know, so take everything what I say with a grain of salt, because there's going to be situations that you're going to be wrong, and it really, the phone really got stolen, and situations like that. Because I have been in a situation where I accused somebody, and she proved it to me with hey, look, here's where I am. My phone was off. The battery was not. I was at my brother's restaurant. You know, there is going to be times where you can't just take technical analysis and assume. You're going to have to go with a fundamental analysis, which is actually asking them and doing a little bit of different research. Because I hope this helps you, and I hope you come down here and find exactly what you're looking for. Thanks so much, and I hope you subscribe to the channel. Chauito. And remember, no da papaya.